Good morning, everybody. This is specifically a response to Jane's question in a video yesterday about why I'm homeless. This is part 3 of a brief synopsis of that. So, talk about now. America is not what everybody thinks it is. America is holding on to a lot of what it was and a lot of our credit from the past, but there's a lot of financial problems here. There's also a lot of legal problems, and I don't mean just everybody's got arrest records or whatever, which a lot of people do, and it makes things extra difficult. Specifically, though, all the laws against street vending, the Patriot Act, and anti-homeless laws are why I'm homeless. That corruption of the state, the utter corruption that runs through every city, state, and county, and the whole country of America right now. There is no help for people who are still semi-functional and have a shred of human dignity left. The help available is for junkies and mentally ill people. Nobody else can function in the systems they set up for those people. I don't need a 6:30 p.m. curfew. I'm not a junkie. I'm not mentally ill. I'm not a criminal. I'm not going to be treated like one. So there's no state help. It's illegal for homeless people to get food stamps in America. It's a literal crime. I can't even, I don't get food stamps. I don't get anything. I don't get $1 from the state or country. I can't get a P.O. box because of the Patriot Act, because, we can let 20, 30, 40 million people who we have no idea who they are into the country, and that's perfectly safe according to a lot of people. But if I get a P.O. box, there'll be terrorism everywhere because of the Patriot Act. Because they've made it so difficult to get a P.O. box that homeless people can't. So there goes selling things online because I can't get mail back. There's a narrow way, but it's so unusual that most people are going to be unwilling to do that. It makes it too difficult. So I can't run an online business. Not one that involves selling things. I could make a fine living selling things that I make. People like things that I make. I've made a lot of money selling leather items that I made when I had a house. The problem is doing it while you're carrying everything. You don't have anywhere to store materials. You don't have a place to dry stuff. The dyes have to dry and everything. But let's say that I work around that. I get a storage unit that I can find that's actually functional, which is pretty hard to do on the West Coast right now. And let's say I can make it happen to where I make some nice leather stuff to sell that people want to buy. Selling things on the sidewalk is a crime in most of America. There's exceptions. In LA, they wrote an exception that if you're a foreigner, you can sell things on the sidewalk. Not if you're white. It's an actual thing that they passed. So yeah, I'm just kind of stuck. I'm allowed to beg. I can beg all day. But if I sit in the same spot with a 1 foot by 2 foot table with handmade leather goods that everyone loves, that people want to buy from me, that would pay my way in society, that is a crime that will be shut down. The fentanyl addicts smoking dope on the LA Metro, they won't get shut down. they don't get arrested. They don't get their stuff taken. But if I try selling things on the sidewalk, absolutely I will. There are exceptions. I could go to Venice Beach, but guess what? I can't sell what I make there. That's against their rules. But you can sell Chinese crap, factory-made junk on Venice Beach. But you can't sell handmade leather goods that everyone loves. You can go to New Orleans, but you can't sell things you make unless it's considered fine art. So I'd have to become a fine art painter. Then I could sell stuff on the sidewalk in New Orleans with a million rules. And it's everywhere else. Even if they let you sell stuff on the sidewalk, the rules are such that it makes it completely dysfunctional. For example, because of chemical exposure, I can't stand the loud subwoofers that so many people seem to have on their cars now that are causing everyone brain damage and all of your children permanent brain damage, and no one seems to care about. That's perfectly legal. But if I'm stuck in one corner, one spot in Eugene, Oregon, because that's where they gave me a permit for, and some guy pulls up on the corner with a 500 watt subwoofer, I have to leave. I have to move. And now I can no longer sell anything. So they make these rules to actually vend. They make it impossible. And then they want all your money. They're like, oh, you've made $200 this month. Give it all to us. It's like, there is fascism in America right now, today. And no one cares. And that's a problem. No one cares their politicians steal all the money meant to help homeless people. They're going to reelect, everyone in California is going to vote for Newsom for whatever he runs for next. They don't. He's stole $24 billion meant to help the homeless. Stole or lost. $24 billion. No one cares. He's not going to get arrested. They're not going to vote him out of office. Nothing. But heaven forbid I sell leather belts on a small table on a 12-foot wide sidewalk out of the way of everybody. That's a crime in America. Land of the free. Can't get a P.O. box if you're poor. Got to give the state all your money. Can't play a trumpet with your trumpet case open next to you, because that's not allowed in freedom. That's why I'm homeless. It's because Americans aren't free. The government's out of control. It's fascist. And nobody cares. Nobody's willing to say, well, we'll get our nice little town here and we'll give you a little, we'll figure out a way for you to have a little table out of the way, selling things that everybody likes. You don't bother anybody. You pick up other people's trash. We'll figure out something for you so you can earn a living here in our little town. Nobody bothers you if you go up in the mountains to sleep. And there's enough foot traffic for you to survive off selling your stuff here. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about me. And I understand why. I don't expect them to. But that's why. That's why everyone's okay with our government taking all our money and micromanaging everything, criminalizing everything, and making it impossible unless you get a wage slave job for a corporation, and make them rich, and then make the state rich, and all our politicians rich, and you can live in poverty on the crumbs. If you can put up with the insane work environment due to the fact that you're easily replaceable because we have open borders. That's why I'm homeless. I could earn all the money I need in a pretty rapid time frame if I just had a little bit of freedom. But not in America. So that's what's going on. I'm trying to figure out how to earn a living, working for myself in an unfree country that wants to take all my money and give it to foreigners. That's where we're at. Thanks for your question, Jane. I hope this helps answer some of it. There'll be more to come on this topic, more detailed videos when I figure out how to make longer ones. But that's it for now. Hope you have a great day. Hope everybody has a great day. Peace of the peaceful. God bless. Be good.